Hello YouTubers, I just got this via Ups today. This was a buy it now I got off eBay. Supposed to have been listed as new. I kind of suspected this radio wasn't new. There was only, I think, one picture in the auction and it wasn't very good, but I figured this radio had probably seen some use, and I'm right, it has. It's not new. I don't think that's factory original. I've never had a Sears that had that glued, onto the bottom of the case. I mean, there's just a lot of things about it. It wasn't bagged. I mean, that's just picked that up from the styrofoam over the years. These seem to be pretty uncommon. I think it's only about the second or third one of this model I've ever seen. It says a sideband. I kind of suspect that this is the same radio probably as the big slant face. It's just this one's not bass capable. I've got one of them slant faces up there I'll show someday that can be it's an AC or DC, so you can run it as a home base because it has its own internal power supply. I think these two have the same PLL chips, so they might be basically the same radio, just this was mobile only, and it looks different. The face and the case is shaped different. It's a lot smaller, a lot lighter. Okay, I'm gonna hook it up. Now, looks like all the accessories are here. The bracket, like I showed that, it's got the original bracket. Box is in really bad shape, but I knew that from the auction description and pictures. The original Sears tags, the manual and everything looks to be there. Mic. The accessories don't look like they've ever been taken out of the bag. I don't know. I'd say it was probably used a few times and just put back in the box. But, well, we'll see here in a minute if it works. And that's, I don't have that item. That was a power supply accessory. Okay, be back. I'll hook it up and we'll see if this thing actually works. Well, back and this radio seems to work. I don't know if it's on frequency on sideband. I've got the clarifier straight up 12 o'clock. I do have transmit on all modes. And I have transmit and receive in all modes. The receive is on frequency on sideband for sure. The original owner's manual's missing. I'm going to have to contact the seller and ask him. I think he had that Sears power supply up for sale separately, and I think he got the manual swapped. That, or maybe the manual's just missing, period. I don't know. Everything else with this radio seems to be there. I noticed the mic's a bit unusual. It's a DIN, but it has a massive screw-in locking collar. I can't remember ever seeing a DIN that was like that. Man, I can't hardly pull that out one-handed. Sorry, folks. There, I think you can see it now. There's threads on the end of it. I've never... I take that back. I think I have seen some like that in the past, but they were plastic. I don't think I've ever seen a metal one that was like that. Price tag was still on the box. I don't know if that's showing up or not. The old Sears tag looks like $99.95. Back, I have no idea when. This is a later version. I don't know if this is a late 70s, maybe early 80s. I'll have to look on the back and tell you the entire model number, because honestly I don't know. I noticed the original tags. There's the one for the radio. That would have been on it. Ah, there we go. There's the model number. 934 3826 1800. Like I said, I suspect this is like the big slant face, and I can't remember its model number. I can't remember these Sears model numbers at all. I think it's basically the same radio, but probably a later updated version of it. They did away with the AC power supply. See, this is the separate power supply and the tag for it, and I've got the manual down there with the other stuff, but I don't have the manual for the radio. This mic is awful dirty. The PTT switch is, I have a hard time making it, make contact. So I'll probably try to get a hold of my friend Wolfie, and I always hate, via DX trying to check these radios out. I always like to talk to my friend Wolfie first and try it that way. Some things I know is different. The channel selector knob, same size, it's right under the channel readout. Audio. As you can see, the transmit and modulation lights work. Has a SWR alert. I don't remember any of my other Sears sidebanders having that. Audio. About 12-13 watts. It's probably, I suspect it hasn't been tuned. I can't swear to that. It never will be. I'm not going to do anything to it as long as it works right. Go to sideband. About 11, it looks like, peak on sideband. I noticed it picks up, at least the meter shows a lot of static on AM. Sideband it doesn't. Boy, it's a nice quiet radio on side. See, my other Sears sideband radios, I can't remember on AM, but I remember on sideband them being, nice quiet with, good selectivity and sensitivity. They pick up everything, but they don't, pick up stations well, but not the hash and trash. Okay, that's it for right now. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get hold of my friend Wolfie and see if this thing's on frequency on sideband. I'd be shocked if it is, but it wouldn't surprise me because I honestly don't think this radio was ever used much. I got this pretty reasonable. It was a buy it now. I think it was $49.95 plus shipping. I jumped all over it because this is one Sears Road Talker I never thought I would have in my collection. Like I said, I've only seen, I think, 2 others in my entire life of this particular model. 73s for right now. I'll probably shoot a little more video once I find out some more about it. A little more video of the Sears Road Talker 40. Like I said, this is the, you can see the model number there. I'm not gonna rattle that off. I'll never remember that. I think it's a pretty uncommon model. On the Super Bowl on AM, the paperwork that was with it, I actually thought this radio would be a little later than this, but the rules of the road deal, the regulations is dated April 1977. Yeah, I know, I need to turn the volume down. The other forms, there's April 1976 on that one. March of 1977, so kind of gives some idea. This actually might be a late 70s radio. I thought it could possibly be early 80s. I don't know. This one's not that common, it seems. The slant-faced sidebander and that little, I've got one of them too. I just don't have it out right now. I've got one of those little, 40 channel mechanical, analog dial readout. It's probably about half the size of this radio, and it's a 40 channel sideband, but it's a mechanical / analog dial readout. But those two I knew were late 70s. I thought this one might be a little later than that, but it may not be. I think they might all be about same vintage. It's just the speaker and the radio. Sounds pretty good. I've dusted the front off because it had set out of the box apparently sometime in its life, because it wasn't heavy dust, but I mean it had some on the face. Got all the styrofoam that was stuck on it, the case off except for this corner. I'm gonna have to. It needs some moisture before I can get that off. It's stuck hard. There is no sideband DX right now, unfortunately. Well, I lied. There is a little bit. It is definitely on frequency on receive, and on transmit, this is not a very, very good test, but this could give you an idea. I don't have a good enough tone generator to inject the right tone to be able to tell, if radios like this are on frequency on upper and lower sideband. So I've got my Lincoln up here on lower sideband, 34. I think you can see the RIT is pretty much in the middle. Audio test 1 2, 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 audio test 1 2. That seems about right, and that's about 12 o'clock. Well, it's not about, that is 12 o'clock. Sorry about all that squalling and whatnot. And when you've got 2 sideband radios on the same frequency close like that, it's not the clearest sounding signal in the world. anyways, I think it shows, you know, gives an idea at least that it looks like it's probably, if not on frequency on transmit, it's really close. So far, I'm really pleased with this radio. I like my other two Sears road talkers an awful lot. I've got my other two sideband Sears road talkers I've sent off to the CB doctor with some other radios. The road talkers just need to be aligned. They were off on you know, upper and lower sideband bow from what I can remember. The other radios I sent along were some miscellaneous. There was an HR 2510, a realistic TRC 451. Both those had, you know, some pretty significant issues. So I should have broken them up because it's taking him some time on them too. And, you know, I know the road talkers wouldn't take him long at all just to line them for, you know, transmit and receive on upper and lower sideband. So right now I don't have either one of them, but I have to say I'm pretty pleased with this one. Okay, I'll probably maybe do some video gates sometime with this radio. I think this is one I'll probably be up here in the little you know, test bench slot, you know, where on my bench where I change radios a lot. 73s for now. Operator 262, Operator Paul, signing off.